Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn how to make the skirt that you've seen at the beginning of the video, and this is the Peekaboo Crochet Skirt. This is inspired by our previous project, and if you haven't yet checked out the shorts pattern or the shorts tutorial, make sure after this video you go check it out because it will teach you how to make this design but in a pair of shorts or pants if you wish, because the other one can be made to any length of your choice. So today we're going to learn how to make this skirt, and for the materials I'm using yarn. The yarn that I'm using is a DK weight 3 Winter King, and I'll also be using a 4mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, a darning needle, and a measuring tape. The measurement that you will consider for this project is the hip circumference, so make sure you take your hip circumference and get back to this video after you get the hip circumference, preferably in inches. So let's get started. So for the project I needed about 2.5 to 3 balls of yarn, and each ball is 150 yards. So do the math and make sure you have enough yarn for your project. I am making the mini version, but if you want your skirt to be longer, definitely you will need more yarn for yourself, and especially if you're making for a bigger size, then consider having about 5 balls of yarn to be on a safer side. So let's begin. So you're going to get your 4mm crochet hook and your preferred yarn. I am using olive green, and you're going to start off with a slip knot. So this is how I make mine. I insert my hook, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through, and then I pull the tail. That is my slip knot. Now you're going to make a chain that can wrap around your hip circumference comfortably when stretched, because we want this skirt to be body hugging. So you're going to start off with a chain. That's how we make the chain. Yarn over, pull through like that, and make sure your chain is long enough to wrap around your hips when stretched. So if you have a total of 40 inches, make sure this can stretch to 40 inches. So I'll be back to let you know how many chains that I made for myself. Alright, so I've started off with my chain of 140, and you're going to make sure that your chain is not twisted. Make sure this can stretch to your hip circumference when you put it against your measuring tape. So if you're to take a measurement, just put it at the 0 mark and stretch your chain, and make sure it can go to your hip circumference when fully stretched. So once you get your desired chain, you're going to make sure that your chain is not twisted. In order to do that, you're going to make sure that your braid is always facing up, and then you are going to slip stitch into the very first chain. You're going to insert your hook, yarn over, pull through all. So this is going to create a ring, as you can see here. Now from here you are going to make a chain of 3. This is round 1, and it is a round of double crochets. So you're going to make a chain of 3, which counts as our very first double crochet. So this is supposed to go into the very first chain. So that means we're going to place a double crochet into the next chain, which is this one. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and that's a double crochet in the US terms. You're going to go ahead and continue to double crochet in each and every chain all the way around. So 1 double crochet in each and every chain until we come back to the beginning of the round. So you're going to go all the way around until you come towards the beginning of the round, and I'll show you what to do next. Alright guys, so we're making it to the end of the round, and I'm still placing 1 double crochet in each and every chain until the end of the round, and this is my very last double crochet into the very last chain of the round, just like that. And make sure your work wasn't twisted, as you can see here. Now once you get done with this, you are going to slip stitch on top of the very first chain 3 of the round. So on top of the chain 3, you're going to insert your hook, pull through all, just like this. So this marks the end of round 1, and right now we're going to go ahead and do some calculations. So you'll get a piece of paper and a pen. Alright, we're now ready to make our calculations. You're going to consider the number of chains that you had for your starting chain. That should be the exact number of stitches that you have for your round 1. For me, as I mentioned earlier on, I had a total of 140 chains for my starting chain. I don't know if you can see this clearly. Let me try to zoom in a little bit so that you can see what I'm doing. So I have 140 chains for my starting chain. That means round 1 has a total of 140 stitches, and you're going to subtract 34 from your very first figure. So this, it doesn't matter what figure you had for the starting chain, just consider it. If you had 160, you're going to replace this with 160. If you had 200 chains, then you're going to replace this number with 200 chains, and then you're going to subtract 34 from your original number of starting chains. So for me, I'm going to have a total of 106. I've subtracted 34 from the 140, and I have gotten 106. This is our new figure here. So 106 divided by 2, whatever number you get here, you're going to divide that number by 2, and I will get a total of 53. So this is our new number now, and you're going to divide that number by 2. If you have an odd number, if you happen to have an odd number here, you're going to consider less by 1. For example, if it's a 53, you'll consider 52, and that 1 stitch will go to the back of the shorts of the skirt, sorry. That 1 chain will go to the back of the skirt. But if you have, let me say, 52 straight away here without the extra 1, then you're going to just divide it by 2, and you're going to get your final number. So 52 divided by 2 is 26. So this is our magic number. But remember, we have an extra stitch here, which we shall put at the back of our skirt. So don't forget it. If you have an even number, that's perfect for you, but for us, we have an odd number. So let's go back to our project and see how to use these figures. We are only considering this figure here. It's what we need. All the rest were just helping us to get to this magic number. And then don't forget the 1 chain, the 1 stitch that we subtracted from this to get an even number here. So we have a magic number of 26. So we're going on to our next round, which is round 2. For round 2, you're going to make a chain of 3 and turn your work. So this is our magic number here, and the place where the tail is going to be considered the back side of the skirt. So you're going to consider this as the extra chain one in case you had an odd number for this part. So this will be our extra chain one, and then you're going to make 26 double crochets or whatever number that you have in this spot. So I'm going to go ahead and make one double crochet in each of the next stitches until I have a total of 26 double crochets. Alright guys, so I have my the chain 3, which counts as my extra stitch, sorry, and then the 26 double crochets here, as you can see. So since the chain 3 counts as a stitch, I'll have a total of 27 stitches for now. So after you've achieved this, you're going to make a chain of 3, skip over 3 stitches, sorry, 1 2 3, and into the 4th you're going to place 1 single crochet, just like that. After this, you're going to make a chain of 8, skip over 4 stitches, 1 2 3 4, and into the 5th you're going to place a single crochet, chain 8 again, skip 4 stitches, 1 2 3 4, and into the 5th you're going to place a single crochet, and then you're going to make a chain of 3, and you are going to skip over 3 stitches, 1 2 3, and into the 4th you're going to place a double crochet, just like that. So this is what you have. This is the cut out design that's going to be placed on one side of one of the hips. The second side will be on the opposite side. So let's go ahead. All right, another thing that I need to point out is this is our very first double crochet on the front side of our skirt. Remember, I told you that the tail is located in the middle back of the skirt. So that means this is the first half of the back side, and then we shall also create coverage for the second half of the back side. So once you place your double crochet here, we're going to go back to our paper here, and we're going to make a total of 53. Now we're going back to this figure here. We're going to make a total of 53 stitches at the front of the skirt. So whatever number you have here minus 34, the new number divided by 2, the result after this is supposed to be the number of stitches that we make for the front side of the skirt. So I'm going to go ahead and make a total of 53 stitches for the front side of the skirt. So this is our very first stitch, and you're going to go into the next stitch with 1 double crochet. That's 2 3 4 5 Alright guys, we've gone ahead to make a total of 53 stitches for the front side of the skirt, just as we calculated on our paper. And right after that, we are going on to the next step to create another design. From here, we are going to go ahead and create this pattern again, the loops on the side of the skirt. So you're going to make a chain of 3, skip over 3 stitches, and into the 4th you're going to place a single crochet, chain 8, skip over 4 stitches, 1 2 3 4, and into the 5th you're going to place 1 single crochet, chain 8, skip over 4 stitches, 1 2 3 4, and into the 5th you're going to place 1 single crochet, chain 3, and skip over 3 stitches and 1 double crochet into the next stitch, 1 2 3, and into the 4th you're going to yarn over and then double crochet into the next stitch. So this is what we have so far. You're going to go ahead and double crochet all the way across to the end of the row, but just to cross check, you should be having a total of, this is our very first stitch of this side, so you should be having a total of 26 stitches on this side. So this is one, just cross check and make sure you have a total of 26 left before the end of the row. So we're going to go ahead and double crochet all the way to the end. So we've come to the end of the row, and I'm placing one double crochet into the very final stitch, and I'll slip stitch on top of the very first chain 3 of the round. So this is what the back looks like. The loops are on the side of the skirt, and then this is what the front looks like. The front won't have a seam line, so we want to keep this very neat at the front, but the back will have a seam line because that's where every round begins and ends from. So we're going on to round 3. You're going to make a chain of 3, turn your work. You're going to go into the next stitch with one double crochet and double crochet all the way across until you get to the chain 3 space. Alright guys, we've reached the loops design on the side of the skirt, and after placing your double crochet into the very last double crochet before the chain 3, you're going to make a chain of 8, and then you're going to skip over the chain 3 loop and then go into the chain 8 loop, into the chain 8 space, and you're going to place one single crochet. We're not going into the chains, we are just going into the loop itself, and then chain 8, go into the next chain 8 space with one single crochet, chain 8, skip over the chain 3 loop, and then go into the next double crochet with the double crochet. Sorry. So once you have this is what your work will look like. You're going to double crochet all the way across until you get to the chain 3 loop, and then we shall do the same exact thing that we've done on this side. So let's go ahead and double crochet across, and I'll meet you back on this side. Alright, so we've made it to the second design, the second portion of the design, and I'm placing one double crochet into the very last double crochet before the loops. Then from here we're going to do the same exact thing that we did on this side. So you're going to make a chain of 8, skip over the chain 3 loop, and single crochet into the chain 8 loop, chain 8, single crochet into the next chain 8 loop, chain 8, skip over the next chain 3 loop, and double crochet into the next double crochet after the chain 3 loop. So from here you're going to just go ahead and double crochet all the way across until the end of the round, and I'll meet you back at that point. Right, so we're coming to the end of the round, and I'm placing my last double crochet into the last stitch of the round, and then you're going to slip stitch on top of the first chain 3 of the round. Is that your hook? Pull through all. So this is what the back side of the skirt will look like. So we're going to make a chain of 3. Turn your work so that you're working in the opposite direction of the previous round, and this is going to help us have the same line in one straight line. That turning of the work every other time, every other row, is going to help us have the same line in one straight line, just as you can see here. This is the same line of the skirt, and you can see how neat and beautiful it is. So after your chain of 3, you're going to turn your work so that you're working in the opposite direction of the previous round, and you're going to double crochet into the next double crochet into the next stitch, and keep double crocheting until you get to the loop design on the side of the skirt, or until you get to the chain 8 loop. So double crochet once in each and every stitch until you get to the chain 8 loop. Alright, so I'm placing a double crochet into the double crochet before the chain 8 loop. This is what your skirt will look like. Then from here you're going to make a chain of 3 and go into the very first chain 8 loop with 1 single crochet, chain 8, single crochet into the next chain 8 loop, chain 8, single crochet into the next chain 8 loop, chain 3, and double crochet into the next double crochet. And this is what we've created. So from here you're going to double crochet all the way across until you get to the second design, and you will do the same exact process as we have done on this side, onto this side. So keep working and I'll meet you back on this section. Alright, so we've reached the second design and we're going to repeat the same exact process as we've done here. So you're going to make a chain of 3, single crochet into the chain 8 loop, chain 8, and single crochet into the next chain 8 loop, chain 8, single crochet into the next chain 8 loop, chain 3, and double crochet into the next double crochet. And then from here we're going to go ahead and double crochet until the end of the round, where we shall place a slip stitch on top of the very first chain 3 of the round. Alright, so we're coming to the end of the round, And I am placing my very last double crochet into the last stitch of the round, and I will slip stitch on top of the first chain 3 of the round. So slip stitch there, and now we are going to keep repeating rounds 3 and 4. I'll be leaving timestamps for you to follow along easily and until you have the length of the skirt that you want for yourself. Mine is going to be a mini version, and I'll let you know how many rounds that I did in order to get the length that I achieved in this photo. So make sure you repeat rounds 3 and 4, 3 and 4 again and again until you get your desired height for the skirt. Alright guys, we ended up making a total of 30 rounds altogether, and that gave me a length of about 14 inches. If you want your skirt to be longer, definitely you're going to keep working your rounds until you get the length, your desired length for the skirt. But for me, this is 14 inches, and my main aim is to get a total of 15 inches. So my next inch is going to be worked on the waistband of the skirt. So once you get your desired length for the skirt, after working your very last round, you are going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn, pull through, and you can see the side with the seam line is the back side of the skirt. Now the side without the seam line is the front side. So turn your work onto the back side, so onto the back side where the seam line is. It may be a little bit invisible because we kept turning while working, but if you look closely, the seam line is in this line. So we're going to attach our yarn in that space right after this tail where we started our project from. You're going to attach your yarn there, and then you're going to make a chain of 3 and front post double crochet into the next stitch, back post double crochet into the next. So we are going to alternate between front post and back post double crochet all the way around. Front post double crochet and back post double crochet. So repeat this all the way around until you make it to the beginning of your round. This is the very first round of the waistband. This is going to start creating a ribbing for your waistband, as you can see here. Alright guys, so we've come to the end of our very first round of the waistband, and I've ended with a front post double crochet, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the top of the first chain 3 of the round. Just make a slip stitch there, and then we're going on to round 2 of the waistband. So you're going to make a chain of 3, front post double crochet in each front post double crochet, and back post double crochet in each back post double crochet. So we're just aligning the stitches and placing a front post in each front post and a back post in each back post to keep the ridges aligned, so that the lines or the ribbing is in one straight line. So keep working that all the way around, placing one front post double crochet in each front post double crochet from the previous round and a back post in each back post from the previous round. And then I'll meet you back at the end of the round. So this is round 2 of the waistband. Alright, so we've gone all the way around for our second round of the waistband, and I'm going to slip stitch on top of the very first chain 3 of the round. Make a slip stitch and make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. You can go ahead and make as many rounds as you need for your waistband, for the thickness of your waistband, but I did 2 rounds, and from there you're going to make a chain. This is going to act as our drawstring. This is supposed to be a simple chain, so start off with a slip knot and make a simple chain of about 200 to 250 chains. So I ended up with a total of 200 chains, and that was just enough for my drawstring. And then we are going to weave it in at the back of our skirt. This time I don't want my drawstring to be at the front. I want it to be at the back so that the front side is very neat. So I'm going to put it through in and out of every 2 stitches. So from the back all the way around, back to the back side of the skirt. So in and out of every 2 stitches of the second last round of the waistband, just like that. You can use a darning needle to do this step, but I don't know where mine is, so I'll be using my crochet hook. So go all the way around the waistband. Alright guys, so we made it all the way around, and this is at the back of the skirt, as I had mentioned earlier on. This is the drawstring is going to help us gather the waistband of the skirt in order to get a proper fitting around the waist area of the skirt. And then you can make a knot at the back of the skirt, just like this. Let's make a neat knot and then cut off the excess yarn at the back. Cut off the excess yarn off the drawstring, and then let's see what we have at the front. We have something that looks like this. You can see the shaping of the skirt has been achieved. A very good shaping has been achieved. And then the next thing that we are going to do is to weave in all our ends. Use a darning needle or a crochet hook, whichever you prefer, and get rid of all the loose ends. And let's see the final piece.